Good afternoon. Would you all stand and join me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, together, let's all say the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All of you without guests or who are not visiting Rotarians, take a seat. And everybody else, please stand. Or remain standing, I should say. Here you go.
This is my guest, Brian Frutig, and he is an estate planner. He's visiting our Rotary group and potentially going to submit an application for membership.
And I think you all know if you want the best olive oil in the whole world, contact Safeway or Nathan.
Hi, it is my pleasure to introduce my older sister. I'm sorry, Peggy. Peggy, who is visiting. My younger sister is at home not feeling all that well, and my brother-in-law, Nicholas Kapsakavathis. They're visiting. We're going up skiing for 10 or 11 days. Peggy's a retired pediatrician from Manhattan, not Kansas. And she is one of those that believes that the world begins at the East River and starts at the Hudson. Stops at the Hudson, sorry. But at any rate, she's coming out here to understand what heaven is all about. And Nick and my younger sister Heidi live just outside of Detroit. So please welcome them both.
And Nick, if you're a pediatrician, I know you're a good man.
Please welcome for a second week Andy Hewitt. We go to the same church, and we were talking about Rotary, and he said, "Oh, my grandfather used to be in Rotary in Ithaca, New York, and he would occasionally visit him." And otherwise, Andy is a retired software manager from Storage Tech, and then the various kind of companies that kind of went from that. So, welcome, Andy.
Hi, this is Joe Reinhardt visiting for the second time. He was in finance, equipment, also used to work with Storage Tech, and he and his wife are thinking of joining. He's also my neighbor, one of those dream neighbors.
Good afternoon and happy Friday. I would like to introduce you to Bill Sheeran. He is the owner of a branding company called Ithaca, and he's here to find out what Rotary is all about.
I'm pleased to introduce my somewhat younger cousin, Skylar Dutcher. He's about to graduate from Broomfield High. I wanted to introduce him to Rotary, and he's interested in law enforcement.
I do not see anybody else standing. Anybody else want to take the mic from me? Too bad, too late.
Thank you very much, Jean Bedell, for playing the role of John Rieger's twin sister. All right, next, Norma Portnoy wants to talk a little QPR to us.
Good afternoon. I'm a member of the Behavioral Wellness Committee, and as such, I've got a couple of announcements. One is that there is a flyer on your table about the State of the State Luncheon, which is next Thursday. It's in South Denver. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful symposium about suicide with fabulous speaker and fabulous presentations. So there is information in the rib, and you can carpool because it's not next door. But there is carpooling, and it's going to be really informative, and we really want to get out there and support this event. So I wanted to make sure I told you about QPR. We had one session last month, and I attended it. It was wonderful. I just want to tell you, it's only a 1-hour training. In the past, as executive director of a nonprofit, I've put my staff through 8 hours of suicide training. This is 1 hour, and it's free. So just a few statistics. In 2018, there were 73 suicides in Boulder County alone. It was the highest rate in more than 10 years. So you'll look at, these are kind of sobering statistics, and I think they're pretty surprising to everyone, that 17% of middle and high school students have considered suicide during a given year. 7% made an actual attempt in the previous 12 months, and 33% of high school and college kids are experiencing some form of depression. So many people who actually think about or actually even attempt suicide do go on to live and thrive. So there are interventions that can be made, and you can stop that from happening. If they get interventions that are appropriate, anyone can actually prevent suicide from happening. So the big question is, what would you do if you notice that? Would you pick up on the cues or warning signs that friends or relatives or neighbors or churchgoers or whomever in your network might say to you? Would you know what the signs are, and would you know what to say or do? So QPR is proven to work. It's kind of like CPR, but it's in the mental health arena rather than the medical arena, and it is something that can save lives. So in this free 1-hour training, you would learn how to recognize the warning signs that someone is in crisis, and you would learn exactly what to do in terms of questioning, persuading, and referring them to get help, to get proper care. And basically, you would learn how to save a life in only 1 hour's time. As I said, the training is really good. When they've done the post-evaluation surveys, 97% either rated it as above average or outstanding. So this is a class act. It's a mental health partners facilitator who does the training. So it's a week from today, the next session. It's just down the hall in the smaller conference room. It's only 1 hour. I keep saying that. It's right here, and it's free. So there are flyers on your table. You can just fill it out and hand it in today, or you can take the flyer home and sign up online. And at the end of the session, you get a very comprehensive booklet, and then you get this wonderful little wallet-sized card to remind you exactly what to do. So if you have any questions, there's a few of us from the committee around. Please ask us and try to attend, because we want to fill the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Please, Norma, I wanted to give you my registration form.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to plant a tree in April? All hands. Okay, we got some people who want to plant trees. Charlotte, why don't you and Kathy come up and tell us how?
Okay, we have a couple opportunities. The first opportunity, actually it's 2 days. The 10th of April is a school education day to teach children about trees. And then we're actually going to plant some trees with the children from a school. And that's on the 14th. Then on the 22nd, we're going to plant 10 trees at Sanchez Elementary School. They have a garden program, garden to table, right? Mm-hmm. And this is part of that. And then on the 25th at McGuckins, we are giving away 200 trees, 2 to 3 gallon sized trees. And at that same time we're going to have a Rotary table there. And the same time that day, we will be planting at least 10 trees down the road at Foothills Park. So the dates are the 10th, the 14th, the 22nd, and the 25th. They're in the rib, and we'll be giving you more flyers on the tables as it gets closer with the date and times. Thank you.
Thank you. Save one of those dates or save all 4. Okay, next up is Kathy Olivier for a second time, because we can never get too much Kathy. Please, come on up. We have a new member induction.
Hi again. I'm very pleased to introduce my friend Marcia. She has, I met her last fall hiking, and I'm very happy to have met her. She has had a very rich and varied career. With a degree in sociology, after college she joined the Peace Corps and taught community health and worked with local teachers to improve teaching methods in Sierra Leone, West Africa. The Peace Corps was an experience, was a cultural exchange of a lifetime and never to be forgotten for her. She's a mother of two daughters, 27 and 25. Most of her life she has worked in a nonprofit world, starting up and directing social programs. Her most rewarding was helping a nonprofit homeless resource center in 2008, acting as the first executive director. This was a grassroots startup as a response to a community need and is still strong and active in that community today. Marcia also was a professional workshop facilitator and has designed many workshops, including assertiveness training for college students at Mount Holyoke and Amherst College. Marcia most currently works now as an independent contractor for Thistle, a Boulder nonprofit dedicated to affordable housing. She is part of a national program to assist residents in mobile homes to buy the parks and to create a cooperative so that they own their own land for the first time. She lives in Longmont and volunteers there as in the Longmont Community Justice Partnership Program as a facilitator for restorative justice conferences. She's an active member and leader in Toastmasters since 2002. Another favorite volunteer has been writing newsletters for numerous organizations. She also loves to hike, bike, play games and cards, watch independent movies, and play her fiddle, and she throws boomerangs. Please welcome Marcia.
Thank you. Did you say she likes to type or hike? Big difference. Okay. Now, Marcia, in 6 months from now, you'll be doing what's called a red badge to blue badge transition. Mr. Anderson would like to present two members who are doing that transition.
Hi, everyone. I have the pleasure of reintroducing Jill and Stu Jury. I'm going to start with Jill, ladies first. Jill Drury is a retired federal government executive. She began her public service career as an economist with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. When the Department of Homeland Security was created, Jill began working international issues. She subsequently moved to Brussels, Belgium, to be the first transportation security liaison to the European Union. She later negotiated transportation security policies with Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific Island nations. Before retiring, Jill was the Director of International Operations at TSA. Jill has a BA in Economics from the University of Maryland and a Master of Public Policy from Georgetown University. She is a passionate horse rider, ballet dancer, and dog owner. She and her dog, Bo, were recently certified with the Alliance of Therapy Dogs, and they volunteer at Boulder Community Health. Jill and her husband, Stu, are currently working with CU Boulder students to develop a website called Donations Make a Difference to identify needed items and inspire global travelers to donate and make a difference locally. Jill is a member of the Peace Building community. She's delighted and feels honored to be a member of this wonderful organization. And just on a personal note, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Jill and Stu a little bit since they joined BRC, and they helped out substantially with the Homeless Kit Project, which are for sale right now. And they would be a welcome member of any community here, any committee here, so please reach out to them and get them involved. Thanks. All right. So we're supposed to keep these bios to 200 words, and Stu cut his down to 203, and indicative of a loving and friendly rivalry. Jill managed to get hers to 193 words and declared victory. So I figured I'd point that out. So Stu Jury is a retired federal civil servant and retired Army Reserve officer. When Stu was 4, his father took a job as a civilian with the U.S. Army in Europe. Stu attended Defense Department schools in Germany from kindergarten through 12th grade. After graduating from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, Stu spent 11 years as an active duty Army officer, then became a reservist and Defense Department civilian. After working for the Army in Europe, Stu was transferred to the Pentagon, where he met his wife, Jill. Stu served on the Joint Staff at the U.S. Mission to NATO in Brussels and as Deputy Director for NATO Policy in the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Stu took early retirement in 2008 to accompany Jill to Sydney, Australia, for her job with the Department of Homeland Security. Stu has an undergraduate degree from West Point and graduate degrees from the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard and the National War College. He is a recovering alpinist, runner, cyclist, and skier. Stu, since joining BRC, is working with the World Community Service Committee to advance the Clean Water Project for Pine Ridge Reservation, and recently assisted, as I mentioned, with the CU Rotaract Club's Homeless Kit Project. Please welcome Stu Jury. Lest I forget, I want to thank Alessandro and Sally for bringing Stu and Jill to our club.
Well, Mr. Anderson, you really scrapped that 200-word limit with all of those extra words that you added in. Sorry. But as a fellow attorney, I'd have done the same thing. Okay. Let's see. Raffle Winner. Before I go there, I just want to put a short plug in for the people who feed us and feed us well every week, A Spice of Life. You have these cards on your table, and these are discount cards for Rotarians only. And there are 2 events that you can get 20% off of. The first is a bike to brewery tour. You can do that anytime you want to in 2020. You don't just have to do it this weekend. And the second is any catered event that you might be having later in 2020. Now, like the television commercial says, so you don't forget, book your event with Spice of Life before March 1st. To get the 20% discount. End of March? Oh, the offer's been extended to March 31st. Yes, all right, we have more planning time. Thank you, Wendy. That's Wendy Kerr. She's our point of contact. Okay, raffle winner. Several people offered me money to be declared this week's winner. I didn't accept a dime of it, especially since I'm a raffle manager. But whoever is holding ticket 838-7996 is this week's winner. Nice. All right. I think you have to see me after the meeting to sign your check, so because I'm the raffle manager in the house today. Okay, the main event.
Happy birthday, Ken. Lynn.
Hi, I'm Len McCreary. I just got my red badge last week, and I wanted to thank my sponsors, Andy Meyer, Paul Jurdy, and Larry Parrish. And I also wanted to say that I've been to a number of different Rotary clubs as a guest, and this one by far is the most professional and the most engaging and has the tightest community. So I am grateful to now be a part of this community, and I look forward to contributing however I can. So thank you.
Jim Radowski, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, George. I just want to say what a pleasure it is to be a member of the Boulder Rotary Club. Before I joined, I was a member of the Honolulu Rotary Club for many, many years. And the clubs are of similar size, but I thoroughly enjoy this club, the fellowship, and all the wonderful projects that we do. Thank you.
Our next birthday boy is turning 20 tomorrow. He is Hank Lopez, of course. We have him a cake, and I'd like everybody to sing him happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frank. Happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you very much. That was interesting. Usually I have a birthday, like as you all know, only once every 1,461 days, instead of every 365, or on the fourth year every 366. Anyway, I've always enjoyed coming to Boulder Rotary. Many, many good programs, such as Fred did today. Interesting. Learned a lot. Learn a lot more about what's going on in the world and so on. And then the other thing is that every once in a while I would kid about who brought me into the club. Unfortunately, he passed away January 27th, but anyway, the Lord brought me in. Robert V. Lord. A fellow engineer who had an office here in Boulder some years ago. Anyway, he always was a good friend. And to my 20th birthday, I just wish I had the body to go along with it.
Hank has achieved the age of he's much too old to die young.
I just wonder what happens when they card you at the liquor store, Hank. Okay, they haven't caught you yet. Good. All right, let's do an announcements video.
Rotary Man.
Hello, Rotarians and guests, and thank you for being here today. I hope you all celebrated the 115 years of Rotary's birthday this past Sunday.
Anne-Marie Reeder is busy planning Rotary Comes Home. It's going to be scheduled for May 2nd at 6 p.m. And we're looking for hosts. You get to pick the theme if you're a host, determine the number of guests you can accommodate, and guess what? Prepare your favorite dish. It's going to be fun. Contact Anne-Marie for more information to be a host.
Good luck at the spelling bee tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Randy Butler. I've been doing peace building work pretty much all over the world. Started in the Balkans in the year 2002. Have worked in Sudan and South Sudan and with folks from Sudan and South Sudan here in the United States. I've even worked in neighborhoods in Houston, Texas. And I want to invite you to the workshop that I'll be facilitating on March 14th. And the title of it is Let's Talk.
So it's March 14th. The Rotary Club of Golden website is where you register and RSVP by March 4th. Let's come out and support peace, our very own Randy Butler, and our District Peace Committee.
Join us for the Rotary Book Club on April 13th from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. at Jancy Campbell's home. The book is The Girl with Seven Names, a Korean defector story. Join us there.
Hi, I'm Cherise, and I work for the Internal Revenue Service.
Do you have an annoyingly large refund this year and it's getting you down? We have just the solution for you. Make a large donation to the Boulder Rotary Club Foundation. There's information in the rib. And remember, we're the IRS and we're here to help you.
Join us for next week's program. It's going to be Deanne Bowers talking to us about CU's Museum of Natural History, a window to the past and a door to the future. Don't miss it.
Tomorrow is Leap Day, so say it with us now. Have a great weekend.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Daryl and Sally. And some of you may know that Sally is headed to Pets starting this afternoon, so she can be a better president than Daryl and me combined. Go, Sally. I also want to thank Marty Evans for being our past president greeter, and Marcia Sprague for being our red badge greeter, Alessandro Sock, Sue Lounsbury, and Margie Sullivan for being our folks at the registration table. Kathy Olivier sold the winning ticket again. It happens every week. Nice job. And our AV crew, Fred Hull, Grant Hickman, John Lehman, Lynn Johnson. Everyone have a great weekend, just like the video says. Meeting adjourned.